Well, hello, hello. How is everybody? This is Kim with Midnight Gypsies with Carissa Simpson. Chill Seekers, hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Nice to see you again and talk to you.
It's been great. We've been on hiatus, so I can't think of a better way to come back.
Yes, yes. And we missed you on the panel last week with the ladies. So um, let's see. So I'm sure pretty much most everyone knows who you are. But for anyone that's joining in that doesn't know who you are, go ahead and just give us a little speech.
Absolutely. So I'm Carissa from Chill Seekers. Back in 2012, Keith Weldon and I formed Chill Seekers, Paranormal Investigations and Research. Since then, we've been, having a really great time digging in and into, paranormal research and advancing the field, especially in ITC. We have recorded every single investigation that we've done from the very first one all the way up until we were, collaborating with Nick Roth and, with bringing Rocky in and doing all these amazing things and having this really great time. And, you really get to see us going from paranormal fans to paranormal pros.
Right. And so you've been going at it for a long time and you're kind of like one of the icons, wouldn't you think?
Oh, I can't even imagine myself as that, but no. We've been doing it for a while and, we've had some really great, I think we've had some really great contributions.
Yes, absolutely. Um, well, you always made it fun, you know. You always made it fun and interesting. So, and are
Yeah.
you kind of psychic? Are you like intuitive to where when you can walk in and pick stuff up?
Well, first off, I think that most of us women have that intuition built into us.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of practice over the years, really honing in. And I don't think that I've ever allowed myself to go further than that. So, but I do, I feel like I have instincts. And I think that those instincts are really important to helping us steer the investigation where it needs to go. And I think that that's a tool that I'm very proud to use. And I think this episode might get interesting because I do have my twin 11-year-old boys in the next room playing video games. So let's see what kind of voices we hear coming from the house. Kids are crazy.
So, did you used to do house investigations too?
We did. We used to, we're still open to it. It's just harder. And I think that with home investigations, you have to do a lot of screening because, you just never know. You're going to someone's house sometimes, but also you can have the most amazing investigations of homes because in a residence, you have a whole dynamic and it's just so concentrated and you usually don't have a lot of investigators going through and wearing the place out. It's usually really raw. It's a
Yeah.
family dynamic. There's, it's like I said, it's condensed and sometimes it can get really explosive. And, that's why when we see the opportunity for a really good residential investigation, we take it. And they have been some of our best.
Really? Now, what about your house? Did you ever bring anything home?
Oh yeah, it's always there. It goes to work with me too, I'm sure. But with our house, we get gifted a lot of things when we go on investigations, or things have found their way home with us, and physical items as well. So that's just kind of part of the job. Be ready for it if you're getting into it. That it's going to happen, but you have to be spiritually strong and have that boundary. And I feel like even in any job you kind of take a little bit of the stress and a little bit of the energy of the job home with you. So this is no different.
All right. So, hello, hello, Bill Davis. Um, so yes, you have to be really strong, and you have to be wise. I think you have to be aware of when something is coming home with you. You know.
Yeah, I know. We made a lot of mistakes in the past. Like when we were first starting Chill Seekers, like I said, we filmed everything, even our mistakes. And there was times that I got real brave, and I thought, like, I'm gonna tell this ghost what's up, and I had a lot of really terrible things happen to me after doing that, and we document it all in the attachment episode. I think it's like number 11 or number 14 is really early on, because we're in like episode 40, 45,
Wow.
I think now, something like that. And, we learned early on, and we show our mistakes, and we show us having to face the consequences of it. And, I had this attachment really that, like, it almost ruined our life. It was so difficult. And I feel like it's still there. It'll probably always be there. I feel like it's like a scar that I'll always have, but you just learn to live with it.
Well, can you talk about it or give us a little hint? I mean, what happened?
I can, yeah. So we were investigating. I'm still trying to figure out if it was. I believe that it may have come from a residential home that we did, the Green Residence. We did that episode. I kind of provoked it a little bit, and I said, I'm personally going to make sure we get you out of here, you SOB, because I have respect for this family. And, I got real ballsy, made that mistake. And then when I, a little bit later after going home, we started hearing things, and we started seeing things. I saw what looked like a man in a hat. And I had never heard of the Hat Man before, because we were still really new to the paranormal. And I started seeing this Hat Man, and he was like a very two-dimensional shape. But he kept popping up. And then I started getting really depressed. And then I remember I felt like I was watching my life through my eyes. Like, I remember there were days where I would have to tell myself how to walk up the stairs, tell myself how to drive the car. Like, I felt like I was losing myself. I felt like I was being taken over. And it was really a difficult time for Keith and I too, because, when you have somebody that's emotionally changing, and you've been in this relationship with this person, that's a hard thing to go through. And I remember we went to a spiritual church out here where there's a really great medium reverend. And we went to go get her counsel. We went to her service, and we noticed that she was really busy. And so we started to walk out, and from across the room, she tells us, "Stop, you need to stop right there," and stops her conversation with everybody that she's having conversation with. She comes up to me and she says, "I need you to know that you have something really nasty following you. He can't," she said, "he or it cannot come in here, because this is, a guarded place." But she told me, you may be noticing this, you may be going through that. And it was everything that I had gone through. And Keith and I hadn't told anybody about it. So there's no way this lady could have known about it. And she offered her help, never asked for a dime. We asked her if we could record it for the show, because we documented everything. She declined that. She just helped us. Wow. She genuinely helped us, and really helped me to take control back of my life, and to get our house, cleansed and everything, and helped me learn from the mistakes that I had made. And she was amazing.
How long did it take for that whole process?
We started noticing a difference within a couple of weeks, but like I said, it's a scar. It's like always there with me now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So every once in a while, I have to check myself to this day. Every once in a while, when I'm not expecting it, I'll still see him.
Really?
Or whatever it is. And then that's when I usually know, like, okay, I need to really check myself. I really need to work on my spiritual health right now, and I need to build myself up, because if I do get weak, I start seeing him again.
Yes. Yeah, I after Goldfield, I just kind of like, wow. You don't know what you're walking into. And then all of a sudden your life is just starting to go downhill, and you're wondering what's happening. But
yeah, you lose control almost.
Yes. Yeah, I even lost my job and everything,
Yeah.
Started having really crazy nightmares, and
yeah. Even after when that happened, that wasn't just happening to me and Keith either. We had a girl in the group with us, Alyssa. She was really great, really strong person. But she woke up in the middle of the night and saw something very similar to what I was seeing floating over her bed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she had some really crazy things happen, and she actually quit Chill Seekers.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think is the lifespan of a paranormal investigator?
I usually see people come in and then usually gone within 5 years, and I know like Keith and I, we even have like we go on our, like we're just coming out of hiatus right now because COVID, we haven't done anything in over a year. But we've been doing this too long for it to be it. And I think that sometimes people think that when they take an extended break, because sometimes that's needed, that they've quit or that it's over, that they can't get back into it. But you really can. And I'm going to show you guys that this year too.
So yeah, 5 years, 5 years. That's what I was thinking too. So what's coming up? Anything for you?
Well, I just filmed with Dead Files, but
No.
they
What?
aired the episode on Discovery Plus, and I got cut out of the episode. But it was really fun. I met Amy a while back on the Queen Mary when we did that episode. Rocky did that one with us too, and we worked with Nick Groff on that. I got to meet Amy then. She was amazing. I got to film with Steve this time with Dead Files at Daydreams and Nightmares, and that was really cool. But the way that they only have so much time, and the key points that were really important for them to showcase, didn't really connect to my experiences there. So, I was okay with it. And I was super stoked to see, our home base on TV and being investigated, and the history getting, really showcased there. So it was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That's really cool. I mean, that's something to strive for, is just to be able to tell your stories, in a bigger platform to where more people can see. But that's a shame they cut you out of that.
It was fun though. They were really nice, and it was a really cool experience.
So the very first time I met you, that was in Washoe. Yeah, Virginia City. We did the Washoe Club, and that was your birthday. Wasn't that your birthday or your anniversary?
I celebrate everything like it's my birthday. It probably was close to like my birthday or Chill Seaver's anniversary, because those are close together.
Oh, okay. Yes. So we had Kim with us, and the one thing that stood out were those really cool goggles or whatever they're called. Do you remember those?
Spectacles is what they're called, from Paranologies. Those were really neat. Like, it was so immersive, and we don't show too much of it on the episode, but it was so much fun, and I remember walking around with it and being so scared because you're hearing the EVPs live. You're looking through these goggles that are IR, and it just completely immerses you. And I remember being so scared at one point that I had my back to the wall.
Hold on, I got to turn my phone. But I remember taking off in those. Like, hold on, I got to turn down my sound on this. But I remember walking around and I took off. Do you remember? You're like, where is she? And I just and you know what? I didn't hear one single EVP.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing at all. And I sat up there in the red room too.
Yeah, I remember I heard a couple, but the hard thing is the way that it records. It doesn't record the audio that you were hearing. It recorded it from from the video feed. So like it was a little different when we had to go review it, but the experience itself was really cool. Sorry, guys, I have to cough. I'm in the Central Valley of California.
What? You have to cough? Go ahead.
I live in the Central Valley of California. It's where we have almost all of the almond production in the world. Yes. And it is we're just after almond season, so can't breathe.
Oh no, do you have allergies?
Really bad.
Shoot. I live on a golf course and it gets it's really damp. So I get a lot of the dust, musty smell.
Oh, the mold, yeah.
Yeah. So I have to air it out and do incense, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else did we pick up from the Washoe? I remember hearing voices upstairs where the wind was blowing, where the fire had happened, and they had a little like altar for the little girl. I remember something following me there, and I remember hearing my name and everything. So yeah, it was pretty active. What do you
Yeah, I remember that second time I went in, I was really tuned in to the other people that were there because the first time we were there, I remember Rocky got attacked. And I remember being mostly concerned for him when we
remember?
went in the second time because I knew that that had happened the first time. So my mind kept switching and like tuning in and checking on everybody, trying to make sure everybody was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I had a crazy experience the night before we investigated the Washoe Club. I remember Keith was out. He went out with some of the other investigators, and I went back to the hotel early because I was really tired. And I remember waking up. I remember waking up and then opening the door. We were staying at the Silver Queen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were staying there, and I remember opening up the door, and I saw a couple standing in the doorway, and there was a woman and a man, and he was like leaning against the door, like he was gonna kiss her. And they stopped and they looked over at me, and I remember being like, "Oh, okay." So like shutting the door, being really groggy, like not like your typical groggy when you wake up, but like really, really like out of it. And then later on, I remember telling Keith about it, how I went to go look for him, and I opened the door and I looked out and I realized that the Silver Queen hallway looked different last night than it did when I woke up the next morning. And I couldn't figure it out. And then when we went investigating at Washoe, there was a point where I walked through a door and I looked over and I realized the setup that I saw was the setup that I had saw the night before when I was really groggy. So like I had like this weird experience, like, and I remember like even looking at the door, like that's the door where I saw the people kissing, and it was the weirdest thing. So I still can't explain that.
That's kind of like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's almost like you woke up and you were actually in the Washoe Club, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I went into the Washoe Club that was that had to have been what I was seeing, because everything was, the setup was the same, but it was just like a different time. It was almost like I was astral projecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that has happened to me before. And then at the Washoe Club, there was did we get we were sitting around the card table, and didn't you get pinched or something?
Yeah, I want to say we got pinched, and I remember that they were interacting with us while we were playing cards too, which was really cool. And then it was weird because everybody kind of had a different experience at the same time, and we all scattered. And it was really weird because we had to like consciously come back together, but it was almost like spirits were like separating us.
Oh yeah, that's right. But yeah, Rocky got attacked again in the red room,
Mm-hmm.
which we were afraid was going to happen, and so at the end of the night, we all had to
He needed help.
yeah, he needed bad help again.
And you and Kim did that.
Huh? Yes.
And I videotaped and kind of.
Did you did you pick up anything?
No, I just videotaped what you guys were doing to help him, because I couldn't help. I don't have that spiritual work yet.
Wow, because I always wondered if we picked up something.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to go back and review again.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd
Yeah.
be great. Have you been back there since?
No, but Keith has.
Oh,
Keith
yeah?
went there a couple of months ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With a team or a group or?
No, he just went there to kind of vacation. Like, I think he really has a connection to the place that, he had a friend coming to visit from Texas, and he brought him out there, and they got to really like hang out and just kind of be there as visitors instead of investigators. And I highly recommend doing that every once in a while, because if we go in with just an investigative mind, we can kind of miss some of the, the charm of the place too.
Well, the one thing about the Washoe Club that I really like is the room where the doll is in that doll chair, the rocking chair.
Mm-hmm.
That room is so active.
Yeah.
So active. And I actually picked up a lot of EVPs in there. So that room creeps me out. And then, yeah, like I said, the room where the wind was blowing, where the fire was, that creeps me out. But that was a great time. That was good. That was good fun. I highly suggest anyone just go to Virginia City just to explore. I mean, it's all haunted there. All the stores
Yeah.
everywhere. Streets are haunted. I even got EVP on the boardwalk outside of the Silver Queen.
Yeah. And I had the best Bloody Mary there that I've ever had in my life.
Really? Where at?
It was at like the little barbecue place at the end of the street. Yeah. And it was really good.
Yeah, I like the hot toddies at the Bucket of Blood or something. Yeah, the Bucket of Blood.
Yeah. Can't go wrong there. Everything's food's good there, drinks are good, the spirits are good. It's a really great place.
So moving on, I think the next time that I met up with you, that we met up with you guys, was to go to the Patterson House, and now we never put out the footage for that. We still have that to do. I
Oh,
mean, we,
wow.
among all the other projects, we still have that. But that place is really super active, super active.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us about some of the experiences you had there?
That place was a trip. I felt like I was in an episode of Scooby Doo. It was cool because we met up with Steve Huff and Debbie, and then with you and Rocky, and it was a blast. I remember we got there and they had the groundskeeper, and he was like, he had a creep factor on his own, and he
Yes,
was really, really welcoming, really great guy, But it heckin' made me feel like I was in a Scooby Doo episode. And then we went in and we were looking around, and I was actually just capturing some B-roll footage to kind of show what the place looked like. And I got near a sewing machine that belonged to the lady of the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was told not to touch the sewing machine, and I got really close to the sewing machine, and I felt something hit me really hard in the back of the head. I didn't feel the pain, but I felt the impact. I felt the pressure, and it like threw me off. And it was so much that I like saw stars, And I think it was the lady in the house telling me like I am not to be touching that. So it was really cool. And then after that, we had a lot of really great communication. It was a really fun episode to do. We didn't think we got much actually when we were filming, but then when we went back and reviewed, just like always, so much comes through that you didn't know that you captured, and it was that was probably one of my favorite investigations.
Yes, mine too. I mean, mine too. The house is so amazing. And yeah, so the groundskeeper told you don't touch the sewing machine because she's very protective of that little corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what, you just went in there and got a little too close? And
I did a little too close. I was filming a clock and I was filming the sewing machine, and somewhere between that, it was like, bam, I got hit hard.
Oh my gosh.
I could just see me falling down. Like that was that was so much. It was crazy.
Well, when I first got there, I remember walking up because I always like to run in when nobody's around and hear stuff and everything. And I walked upstairs and I'm like, who's here or whatever. I started hearing things right away. I heard the woman say, I'm here, or something like that. So right away I knew, oh my God, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. Gonna be great. And then after you guys left, we stayed there longer. And we were downstairs and we started hearing walking upstairs. And every time that we were like, okay, well, let's go. Nothing's happening anymore. Let's go. Every time we started to go, something would happen. And so we started hearing walking upstairs, and then we started to go again, and we started hearing the piano. We started hearing the keys of the piano play. And we didn't want to go. I mean, I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay, but it was getting super late. That place was really, really, really super active.
Yeah, I would love to see what you guys captured after everyone left, because it was a small place. And I think that you probably got amazing interaction and different interaction with having less people there.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I do have a lot of footage. I'll have to work on that. One of the things that I need to do is I need to take a little break from the podcast and work on some of my videos. I have so much footage from a lot of different investigations. And we went back there again to the Patterson House, and it was in the summer. And there was so many Black widows.
Mm.
I mean, they were everywhere. So it started creeping me out. I like as soon as it got dark and I started looking around, they were freaking everywhere. We couldn't stay. We had to go.
That's one of those weird things about investigating. I remember when we investigated the Stockton Fairgrounds, where there was an internment camp there, Japanese internment camp. And after sunset, so many roaches came out that like they were everywhere. Like we had to shake out our equipment and our bags before we came home, and it was crazy. It was really crazy. So I can only imagine what that was like at the Patterson House with all the widows. Ugh. But one thing we did at the Patterson House that I really enjoyed was we did an experiment with 5 DR60s and a different recorder as well. And I remember we went through, we did these burst sessions, and none of the recorders picked up an EVP except for one. And they were all lined up in a row. They were all recording at the same time, you know, and it was really cool to see that and to really get to dig in and kind of, you know, experiment with those DR60s.
So did you guys make a video or did Steve Huff make a video?
We both did.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Shoot. We're lagging over here.
It's up. It's been up since around that time that we did it.
We're lagging. What are some other of the most haunted places you've been to?
I would say Mare Island was really great. I'm glad that we got to do Mare Island when we did, because there was an earthquake after we were there, and there's places that you can't access any longer on the island. Mm-hmm. So the Mare Island was an old naval base, and they built ships there, and there was a lot of really amazing like history with Mare Island. And we got to go into the underground bunkers. We got to explore a lot of the old buildings, and we went there twice. And the cemetery there is extremely haunted. To this day, I cannot explain the lights that I saw in that cemetery. They would and we have them on video too. Like it would get brighter and then dim, and it was nowhere. Like it wasn't reflecting off of anything. There was no light source for it. Still can't figure it out. I remember we actually made the newspaper for that one because our we did SV7 session. And we were still fairly new at this. I think it was like our second or third investigation. And we got straight up the names that were on the tombstone were coming through the spirit box. So that was amazing.
Where is that at?
In Vallejo, California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that on the coast?
Yeah, it's in the Bay.
Oh, wow. Any other places? Have you been to Pioche?
No, I haven't. Tell me about it.
God. Yeah. Pioche, there's the Overland Hotel. And there's this one room, I don't remember the number, but I totally picked up we picked up a lot of stuff happening in there, but I totally picked up a creature or something, and I kind of adjusted the contrast, and I got like a tongue, like a devil's tongue, because first I seen a light go by me, and I went like that with the FLIR camera, and I picked up some kind of demon looking thing with a fiery tongue. Look, and it looked reptilian. You know, it looked kind of, the shape was like reptilian.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, what happened was one of the team members got like smothered that night in that room.
Oh, wow.
You know, like smothered. And then the other team member ended up taking it home with them and got smothered at home and got attacked and things like that.
Wow, I mean, that's crazy.
After that, I don't even know if one of them, I don't think he ever went back to another investigation. And then the other one needed a lot of help getting that thing off. And I don't even know if they ever recovered. And so that's the thing, you know, I worry about people, and you just never know. You just never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's insane. And you can get spiritually and physically hurt when you go on an investigation, you know, so you have to be really strong and, you have to be ready for it if you go, you know. And a lot of people always ask, like, how do you protect yourself? Honestly, like, you can do a lot of things that make you feel empowered, but you have to be ready for anything.
You do. And I picked up something from Zach's museum, like I'm sure people have heard me say before, and it's no joke. So it's not for everybody, and I can tell you that much.
I want to go to the museum, hecka bad.
Huh?
I want to go to the museum.
Have you been there yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Because when you came to town a few years ago, you were supposed to go, weren't you?
Yeah, but I wanted to wait for Keith because I was there for business and he wasn't with me yet.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I would have waited too. He hasn't been either.
No.
Yeah, it's a trip. I mean, you should go.
But we will for sure. We want to come visit you guys and then go out there that
would be great.
That same trip.
So what about the apps that he's making? Those they're really popular. People love them.
You know, I am so proud of Keith. We went to Kennedy Mines Paracon last year. It was like one of the last things that we did. And we went and we were doing night investigations, and everybody kind of broke off into these groups because it's a big compound, and we're walking through the night, and you could just hear like spiritist coming from over here, dead wave coming from over here. Oh, that's necrophonic over there, and it was an amazing thing. And I remember telling him, you know, like, this is what you've done is really important, and it's really huge. You know, it's crazy. So, you know, it stemmed from us having a need. Like, we used to carry so much equipment with us all the time. And we'd fill up the trunk, and we weren't very mobile because of it. So then what we really started to focus on was ITC, instrumental transcommunication. And we decided, like, how can we make this easier? And Keith really started developing. He started with Spiritus and started developing these apps. You know, most of them don't have to be hooked up to the internet, so you could be out in the middle of the nowhere. You can have your paranormal investigation in your pocket. We even did an investigation walking through Main Street at Disneyland, you know. Sorry, my dog is snoring. I'm like, that's not a demon in my house. That's my dog. But, you know, it's really cool to be able to have, you know, an investigation in your pocket at all times. And, you know, we've just continued, you know, Keith's continued developing them, you know, and, you know, finding the need is really what sparked that.
So do you know how to make one? Like, have you watched him? Do you know the technology behind it?
No. I mean, I understand the theory. We talk about the theory all the time, but I'm not a programmer. So, you know, the art is really in the programming and in the development of the app itself. So, you know, I really get to help out with like the beta testing, and, you know, I'll shoot ideas back and forth with Keith to help him like develop the app. Like on the latest one on Signal, the presets were, you know, my idea. I felt really good about that, you know. Signal is kind of set up like a radio. And I said, you know, I know in my car, I like having my radio preset. So you can actually, you know, adjust all the settings on there and set it as a preset for yourself. Yeah. And there's preloaded presets as well. So, you know, Signal's really cool. I can't wait to get out there and use it more because it is really a unique app. It's different from all the ones that he's already done because it uses a radio scanning, internet radio scanning. So instead of sound banks, which is really interesting and neat about that one.
Is this a new one? Is that a new app?
Yeah, it's his newest app, Signal. It just came out, I want to say, a couple months ago.
Wow. Okay, everybody, to hear that. And where can they get those apps?
That is available on iOS and the Google Store. So the App Store and Google Store, or Google Play, I think is what it's called.
Play, yeah.
I got that over 30 syndrome where I'm like, I can't use my phone and I don't know what anything is called.
Yeah, I haven't had anything in this new place, so I'm kind of just enjoying the peace and quiet and not having to deal with entities.
Yeah. Spirit's been calling out to me lately. Some weird stuff's been happening. So,
oh, really?
I need to do what I got to do. And I actually just got my mom to do a session with me, and I've never had her do that with me. So we just filmed that using Signal. I'm going to hopefully release that soon.
Oh, that would be great. I have a question for you. It's hard to get comfortable in these darn chairs, but
Oh,
anyways,
I'm over here moving around too.
I notice myself. I move around a lot, but I'm gonna try to stop. But I do have a question for you, if I can remember. Because no, what direction do you see the paranormal community going? Because we're really saturated and we're all kind of doing the same thing, and people are trying to be creative and innovative. What direction do you want to see it go in?
Honestly, I'd like to see us try to connect with one another more. Like Keith and I did some, experimental things with just trying to like the Schreiber method. We did that. We tried to do things where we connect telepathically and like tested that, and we got some amazing results. We filmed that one too. I would love to see us make strides in ways that we can connect with one another as well as spiritually.
Tell me about the test you just said. You talked about the telepathic. What'd you do?
So what we did was and we filmed it too. We should release that one. So we did kind of like the Schreiber method where we had the ping pong balls in our eyes, we had the light source and all that. But what we did is Keith then went to a different room and he looked at an image and he just focused on that image. And then I started to kind of see things with the Schreiber, not the Schreiber method. Oh my gosh, Schreiber method is the TV. I totally forget what it's called with the ping pong balls over your eyes. Oh, I'm failing as a paranormal investigator right now. But there is a method where you put ping pong balls on your eyes. You have a light source, and you start to see things. And it almost feels like an hallucination, but it could be more. So we experimented with that, and I started seeing like an ocean and some flowers and like a boat, something like that. I could see this image, right? And then after we were done doing that, Keith showed me 3 pictures. And he said, which one do you think I was looking at? And I could see, and I even remember explaining it, like while it was happening, I could see there was like a cruise ship and there was like flowers in the foreground. And in the background, there was like the coast with the water and a cruise ship in there too.
Really?
So, yeah. And I picked that one out. So it was kind of neat.
Well, that stuff's real. Totally real.
I believe it. We have so much, reality is so much more than what we can experience. There's so many different types of light that we know exist. We know UV light exists. We know that IR exists, even though we can't physically see it, we experience it in very subtle ways, and that's reality. So reality is so much more than what we can, consciously experience.
What's Gansfield? Is that the name of the?
That's it, Gansfield. Thank you, Bill Davis. I kept calling it the Schreiber method. But yeah, Gansfield. We did do that. It was really really interesting.
Yeah, so I actually had a vision of what is happening when you're experiencing telepathy. And it was like digital. It looks digital. It started out with my thinking of somebody, and then it went like this. It just went like a box, like a pixel, pixel, and then it turned and went pixel, 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 and then it went to that person's mind. But each little pixel had the same image, and then it almost looked like kind of like there wasn't a stopping. It just flowed like do 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 do, and that fast.
That's funny that you say that. I would kind of describe mine as pixelated. It was all monochromatic though, like because all I could see was pink and red because the light we used a red light over my eyes. But there was like darker pixels of red and lighter pixels of red, and that's kind of what formed the image for me.
Yeah, cool. Becoming pixelated. I mean, I've seen a lot of, I've been meditating for years, and like you can see, like you can kind of see if you're tuned into someone, you can kind of see what's on their mind. You can kind of hear their thoughts. I mean, that's all real and everything. But how it's actually happening, it's really trippy. It's almost like a computer. I mean, we're just connected kind of like a computer. So That's what they say. Our minds are like little computers. So
and I'm not just connecting to people. I feel like, when we go on an investigation and we feel like the spirits kind of take some of our energy to communicate. One thing that I've learned from this hiatus since we haven't been investigating is that I take energy from them too. And I'll be honest, not investigating, my soul is tired. I'm tired, and I can feel that I'm missing that connection, and that I need that. I have people connection all the time. I'm always around people, but I haven't been communicating with spirit. I haven't been connecting in that way where I draw from their energy too, and I feel it.
Wow, that makes total sense. Wow, I never thought of it like that. I mean, what else have you learned in your years of investigating? And you've had time to reflect back on there. What else have you learned?
I've learned a lot. I've learned that you have to be open. I learned that I should have used the bathroom before this interview. Oh, no. I'll be right back, you guys.
Okay.
I tried to hold it.
Go ahead.
I don't know if there's like a video you want to show or something.
Let me see. No, just go ahead.
I'll be right back. I promise.
No, that's fine. Go ahead. So everybody that's tuning in or watching this afterwards, taking a little station break, literally. Let's see. I'm supposed to have Kimberly Lloyd Anderson on tomorrow. We'll see. She's kind of busy, and we've got some cool things to talk about. And Jackie, the co-host here on Midnight Gypsies, is on vacation, and I believe she's in New Orleans right now, so she wasn't able to tune in. Hi, Jackie, if you're listening to this. So let's see, what else? I'm working on a documentary for Goldfield. I know I've been working on it for several years. But yeah, I was just saying I'm working on a documentary from Goldfield. It's just been the longest thing going because it's been like a continued story. The experiences that happened there when we went there the last time with Kim and Rocky and myself. And we took home, he got possessed, literally got possessed, and that's in the documentary. And stuff just continued to happen after that. It just snowballed into something really huge. And it really took a toll on us, and it really took up a lot of time and energy. And now I'm finally getting to the point of where time's opening up to where I can actually finish that and get that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm telling everybody that I have some interviews lined up next week, and I think maybe the week after, but then I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a vacation from the podcast, and I'm going to finish that documentary. So
you should. You can only give 100% of yourself to one thing at a time,
One thing at a time. But go ahead and so tell us what you've learned from all this.
So I've learned that that there's so much more power within us that we are ever taught to believe.
Yes.
We always think that power comes from something else or someone else, and really we all have this power in us. We all connect to one another, and we can, like I said, charge each other up, and even when we're not physically there, the spirits, they still have that charge, that soul, and we connect in these ways that I'll never know in my lifetime. So instead of trying to figure it out, I just learned to experience it.
Yeah, that's so profound, because I was just saying that how we all need, when we're in each other's space and aura, we kind of energize each other. And I know that I do know that people can absorb energies, and I don't know if they do it intentional or not intentionally. Are you saying you can do it intentionally, or is it just something that you just do automatically, or do you think we all do that?
I think we all can do it. I think that I think it's easier to block it than it is to try to enhance it, you know? So what I've been trying to do is when I do want to connect with somebody, I try to focus on blocking out everything else and then just allowing that natural connection to happen, you know? So, like I said, I feel like it's easier to block things than it is to enhance them. So, if you could just focus on blocking all the other things, then the things that you do want to enhance will kind of just naturally do so.
Wow. Yeah, that makes total sense because I was talking to a psychic medium the other day, and she was saying that you kind of have to let your walls, or let your protection or whatever, just let it go, and then you kind of just melt, like your essence just starts melting and like blending with other energies.
Mm-hmm.
I for one know that I keep it blocked off when I go in. I don't want anybody's energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I the last thing I would ever think I want would be a spirit's energy. So I'm kind of, how do you know the difference between a good one or a bad one, or is it just all energy?
It's just like people. You don't know. You could be around someone for years and think that they're a good person. I listen to a lot of like crime, like true crime podcast, and you never really know someone, you know. And I feel like it's the same with spirits. You'll never really know. You know, everybody is different.
Wow, that's a true statement right there. You never know until you know. Sometimes it takes a couple years.
Well, there's like these married couples that have been together 30 years, and the wife never knew that the guy had a torture basement, you know. And it's like, what? Or you have like a secret life or something, you know. And so, you know, you just never really know somebody. So to try to predict if someone's bad or good, it's not. You could always be wrong, you know. And you just kind of experience it instead of trying to predict it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something to think about. So, do you have any pieces of equipment that you like to use, or do what do you use?
I'm still old school at Spiritus, to be honest with you. I meant, yeah, I use the apps a lot because it is really easy. You know, I'm not as mobile as I used to be. I don't have all the cool equipment like I used to have. So really, just focusing on the communication is really been what I've been trying to do. But I feel like my heart and my mind is, you know, my best tool that I could possibly have, and you use that regardless of what piece of equipment you're using. Cool thing actually happened. I was on a plane a while back. I want to say it was like last year, and I was reading a book on how to open your third eye, right? And like these little exercises that you can do. And I remember doing one of these exercises and like really just meditating and really trying to do this exercise. And I remember now it was like time for me to like come back and open my eyes. And I remember seeing the plane and then my eyes opened. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. Like I thought my eyes were open.
Yes. You start seeing through your eyelids.
That's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really cool.
Pretty soon, all you got to do is just lay down and close your eyes and just ask yourself to see something or go somewhere or do something. And next thing you know, you're there. You can see things. I mean, it's hard work, but definitely keep doing that.
See, I stopped. I got so scared.
No, did you really?
Yeah, it was really scary. And you know, I thought to myself, like, if I'm gonna do this because I know that I can now, that it's possible, and that I do have the ability in me, do I really want to? And that's what I'm waiting to know if I really want to.
Yeah, because you start finding out things you don't want to know.
Yeah.
You start seeing way too much, and you just can hear things and see things and know things, and it starts like bothering people. Want they don't want to think that you know them that well, so you have to then you have to just keep it to yourself, and that's hard. It's really hard squirming in your seat, like going, I don't want to say it, but
And sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit of a projectionist myself, that like I could kind of will the thing. So like, am I really experiencing it, or am I making this happen? And I really want to stay on the side of experiencing things more.
Yes.
So yeah, so I kind of I stopped, to be honest with you. It was a lot. It was scary and it was a lot. And I have to really decide that I'm going to want to do this if I'm going to ever go any further.
Right. And your intentions have to be right when you're doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
Your intentions.
I'm already a mess. I'm already a ball of nerves as it is.
Yeah, you don't need any more. I know I don't. Sometimes it's too much. Like I said, I've been doing some spiritual stuff and letting it go. And then that's a whole mess in itself, a whole nother story. But let's see, we have, what time is it? Wait, where am I? Oh yeah, we still have about 15 minutes left. And I wanted to ask you, so you're working and you're, commuting and doing all that cool stuff, but you want to start going back out there, right?
I do. So, like I said earlier, you guys, like we've been on a hiatus. I'm normally the planner. So, with me working more and commuting, I haven't been planning as much. So, if you're in Northern California and you're going somewhere, call me. I would love to come along and not have to be the planner, but to still be able to go out and experience and get back out there. Otherwise, if I have to plan it, it's going to be just a little bit longer until I move. But I've been dying to investigate with the Silent Explorers. They are a team that does everything silent, and they they use all their other senses other than their hearing.
Well, tell us about that. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, so they're really great. Michael Thiel and Jason Skinner, they are two individuals that we met at the Kennedy Mine Paracon, and they were really great. These individuals, they're hard of hearing or deaf, and they have to use all their other senses to investigate. And I really want to do a Silent Chill Seekers episode and do a collaboration with them. So I think I might be reaching out soon to see if we can make that happen, because they don't live too far from us. Once I get over all these allergies.
Yeah. What so you said that they use their other skills and their senses,
Yeah.
in their sight. But
And they can feel a lot, and like their tools that they use, they detect like vibrations a lot and things like that. So like it's been really interesting. It was really interesting watching them, and I really want to dig in and learn more from them. So that they've been great.
So let's say if they can't hear with their physical ears, but can they hear with their psychic ears, mental impression?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like I want to investigate more of them and learn more of how they experience the paranormal. So, because I think especially being in ITC, we communicate so much with just a couple of senses, and it really working with them that just that moment that I got to work with them made me really realize that there's like so much more, that we could be experiencing if we kind of, instead of trying to use all of our senses, trying to hone in on just a few others. And I'm like, I gotta try it. I wanna go out with them so bad.
Do you ever watch? I think it's the Mind Seed, a group called the Mind Seed.
No, but I'll check them out. I'm gonna write it down right now.
Mind Seed, yeah, they're on YouTube and they're really big. But they do some kind of a thing where they put like headphones and goggles or whatever, and then they try to pick up the psychic impressions, kind of like what you were doing.
Okay.
And, that's pretty interesting. If you get a chance to watch them, to go ahead and watch them, which I think is cool. But are there any other like things that you could see that we can do to refresh this paranormal community and the
I know that there's a project that Keith and I want to work on once everybody's able to come out again. So we have some plans for that. I know that one thing I would love to do is I would love to have like a paranormal gala. Have like a paranormal ball and like have a really great time and just meet up with a bunch of people and have fun.
That sounds so fun.
I want a party.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want to make it fun, you know? I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of serious people there, and that's fine.
And that's the thing though too is, you have to be really open minded to be in this field. And it's really weird that I've encountered so many, and that's why, like I kind of made the joke with the video before about like us women not really being in the spotlight other than the spirits themselves, but like there's a lot of brick walls that you hit in the paranormal community. You can be a purist and still have an open mind, and I feel like there's a lot of brick walls in the paranormal community that I'd like to see knocked down.
Well, tell us about those because, um, you know, this is a great time because of COVID, and not everybody gets to go out and do it like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
So, some of that's one of the favorite questions of mine on this podcast is, how would you refresh this community? Because, like I said, it is saturated. And so, what
Yeah.
do you tell me about the walls?
I feel like the wall where you think you have to have proof, that it's a scientific method. And we have to understand, and I think that one of the best things that I ever experienced was Jeff Dwyer was at a convention at Mare Island in Vallejo, California one year. And he said, and he's a doctor, so he could really speak to the scientific method. And Dr. Jeff Dwyer, he talked about was, we really have to get away from the idea that we're finding evidence, because there's really no way to scientifically like prove and replicate things. And we really have to understand that these are findings that we're researching, that we are exploring, and if we keep focusing on like, just like proving each other wrong or proving that something is right, or like, instead of just experiencing it and sharing it as findings that we can put together as a puzzle together, everyone thinks that they have to come with like this solid like proof and thesis and this and that, and I'm not doing him justice at all in the way that he put it. But one thing it changes, instead of calling it evidence, I call it findings whenever I can, remember to call it that, because it really is. And I think like if we can explore this together instead of trying to just bring your evidence to like, show it off, like let's explore it together. Let people, break down what your process was. Listen to other people. You may not believe in ITC, or you may not believe in phone apps, or you may not believe in radio scanning equipment, but they don't know anything more than you do, and you don't know anything more than them, because we really don't know anything of that's really going on. We're just experiencing it. So, to share those experiences and connect with one another, I feel like it's the best way that we can move this field forward.
I totally agree. I couldn't have said it any better. I really couldn't have. That is like so perfect, because like I was saying, and you were saying, everyone has their own experience, and they want to share that with people. I mean, people get into it for different reasons. Some people get into it because they're having experience as a kid, and they want to know, or they were afraid as a kid, and now they're going in and they get rid of the fear. I mean, it's a freeing feeling when you cannot be afraid at night. You know what I mean? It's not be afraid. And so, yeah, if we could just do what you said and appreciate everyone's experiences without having to prove if they're right or wrong. Is there any other walls that you can think of, or?
Well, us women don't really have much of a good break. I feel like when we do have female pioneers, we're very far and few between, and half of us, it's because we're attached to our husbands or our boyfriends who are doing it, Mm-hmm. And I think it's good. I think couples are great for this community, because there's a connection between them that amplifies what they have. But I really would love to see, more female-led teams in the spotlight of the mainstream media. I would love to see more, female speakers at conventions, all of that. Definitely not me, because I couldn't even get Gansfield and Schreiber separated. But I think that it's important to stay a fan, and I'm definitely a paranormal fan still. I appreciate everyone's experience. I appreciate all the people. So I think that the more diversity and variety of people that we have sharing their experience in this field is only a good thing.
Again, well said. One of the things is there's so many teams and so many podcasts and so many shows and so many YouTube channels, and it's easy to get lost in it, and feel unappreciated. So I get that. I get that we should, look to see others work and to support each other, so that, um, not just one or two people are getting all the love, but just show the love throughout. Make that effort. It's not always easy, but I would like to see that. I would like to, for everyone to just kind of, look into each one's work. If they take the time and they make a video and then they put it out there, take the time, acknowledge that, say, hey, leave a comment. That to me is what we need, is more support like that.
Absolutely. You don't have to like everything that everybody does, but you don't have to hate on it.
Yes, perfectly said. So anyway, Carissa, it was so wonderful to have you on here tonight. You're brilliant. You're beautiful. And yes, more women-led things, right? And there's Coco. Hey, Coco. So, all right. So that's going to wrap it up. Do you have anything else you want to kind of throw out there, like, your page or YouTube page, and where people can watch your videos?
Absolutely. So we are on chillseekers.com, Chill Seekers TV on YouTube. You're going to see an old Chill Seekers logo and a new Chill Seekers logo. The better episodes are 2017 and more recent. That's when I feel like we really put a lot of work, and those are my episodes I'm most proud of. But once you binge watch those, definitely check out the old ones. Keep your eyes open, because we will be doing more in the very near future. And I cannot wait to come back on this show and share some of the new experiences that I had.
That would be wonderful. Can't wait to have you back and get Keith on here, and we'll do a panel. Okay, we'll get some other couples on here, and we'll have a good time.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Right? Do a couples night.
All right, that would be great. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I want to wish you a wonderful, wonderful night. And again, thanks for coming on.
Night, everyone.
Talk to you later. Bye. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and have a wonderful night. We'll see you possibly tomorrow with Kimberly Anderson Lloyd, if I can get her on around noon or 2, or I'm not sure. But please stay tuned, and we'll talk to you later. See you.